From stunning mountains to lakeside excursions, the Lake Geneva region of Switzerland has sophisticated cities and charming historic villages. Hello, I'm Nancy Pearlman, here in the Swiss Alps. On this edition of ECONEWS, we visit the headquarters of the modern Olympics, see innovative renewable energy technologies, hike and walk in parks and forests, and enjoy the majestic beauty of this European country.
Hello, let me present myself. My name is Christine Seret. I'm working with Lausanne Tourism as a guide. Here along the lake we have big parks around 150 acres. And that's a very nice place if you want to practice sports. Sports in Lausanne are promoted in a very strong way with over 330 sports clubs and all indoors and outdoor sports you may wish. Although constructing a lot of new houses for new inhabitants, Lausanne knew how to preserve the greenery all around. And today, 40% of the Lausanne territory consists out of green areas such as Forest of Sauvablanc, a part of the Lavaux Vineyard, botanical garden, parks in and around the city. And you can see we are here in the forest, just north on the northern part of the city. Lausanne is a city that developed on the transport ways. Transport from the Romans, the Roman time, 58 years before Christus, used the way through Lausanne to transport the goods to the northern part. And the city, until the 19th century, counted about 14,000 inhabitants, grew up on very Christian ways of pilgrimage in the history of the bishops, Catholic bishops of Lausanne. In 1856, we got the arrival of the train, and with the means of public transportation, the city grew up.
We're coming up 300 steps.
Following all the public transportation too, we grew up to an agglomeration in total of 300,000 people in all the peripheric areas.
Lausanne, the fourth largest city in Switzerland, is over 2,000 years old, but is so modern and up to date with its commitment to green infrastructure and the preservation of its heritage and parkland. We just climbed 302 steps in a very interesting circular pattern up this tower that you built a few years ago.
Yes, it's a tower that was built from the city of Lausanne. The energy people thought it was good for the environment to have this tower built of indigenous trees.
I'm enjoying the beautiful view.
Yes, we're up 100 feet more or less, and we have a circular view on all the lake area, the Pre-Alps, the Alps, France and Geneva in case of nice weather. We have the Olympic Stadium, yes, La Pontaise, where we have a lot of sports events, like for example Atletissima, part of the Diamond League, because Lausanne, as seat of the International Olympic Committee, sustains a lot and encourages a lot sports, counting more over 330 sports clubs in the city. Basically all decisions about Olympics are taken here in Lausanne, and it's a great asset for our city. Nowadays 40% of the city of Lausanne is still part of green areas between vineyards, forests and parks in the center. Forests like this one, Sauvablanc. Culturally, we have a lot of museums, art museums, sports museum, and all kind of interesting areas to see. We have a lot of concerts, we have an opera, we have the Ballet Béjart, the dance school, and really you can't get bored in Lausanne if you're interested in cultural events. Historically, we have beautiful buildings dating of all periods of history of Lausanne, from the Roman ruins to the beautiful Cathedral Notre-Dame de Lausanne, a 13th century cathedral dating of the bishop times when the bishop governed the region of the state of Vaud.
What is the official name of the lake? Because I've called it Lake Geneva.
Well, the official name is Lac Léman, and the Lémanic area comes from that name. And in fact, everybody calls it Lake of Geneva in other languages than French, because in French it's Lac Léman, but in all other languages it's called this way since Geneva became very famous. And Switzerland is a little country that nobody knew, and knowing Geneva just brought the people to know where to look. So it became Lake of Geneva after Geneva became famous.
So the original name is actually Celtic, because the Celtic people lived in this region.
Celtic people lived here throughout 4,000 years before Christus, yes. And they left also the name of our country, because the official name is Confederatio Helvetica, coming from the Helveti, that were the Celtic tribes that lived here.
So that's why I see the .ch
exactly.
in all the email.
Yes, that's right.
This is such a beautiful, peaceful park. It's about 9 square miles?
Yes, around 9 square miles.
And I hear so many beautiful birds.
A lot of different birds, different wild animals, 3 species. And in fact, we have also at the lake a bird preserve, a park, and it's, yeah, for nature fan, Lausanne is quite a good area. Cathedral Notre-Dame de Lausanne was built on one of the three hills of the city of Lausanne. I'm now standing in front of the Portal Montfalcon, the main entrance. This cathedral is the largest Gothic cathedral in Switzerland, and it was built during the period where Catholic bishops were governing the whole area. That was between 1178 and 1275. The inauguration took place in 1275. This cathedral has become in the meantime a Protestant cathedral because we got the Reformation here in 1536 and the whole state of Vaud is now Protestant state. It's still alive, lively. We get there religious ceremonies, masses on Sunday, burial ceremonies and things like that, and a lot of concerts.
2,058 years ago, the town of Lausanne was actually founded right here at this site. The lake came right to this place where the Romans established the village.
You're looking at the spot where the city of Lausanne was founded. 58 before Christ, the Romans came here and founded a little commercial village using the very good location of the sea to transload all the materials they needed on their conquest towards the north of Europe. Lausanne was built here as a commercial harbor and had at the time around 2,000 inhabitants in a little city that lived in the Roman peace. At the Roman time, the lake Léman, Lake of Geneva, came right here to the city of Lausanne, the Roman town. And nowadays it's regulated a bit differently in Geneva with a regulation system that has lowered the level of the lake. That's why here we had the boats coming and putting all the goods then on carts on the northern earthly ways. Before the Roman came here, the area was a forest, a big forest, occupied by a Celtic tribe named the Helvetii. Helvetii that gave name to our official country name, Confederatio Helvetica, for Switzerland. And these people were hunters, picking up fruits and living all around the forest, but never settled down in a real village before the Roman times. The building with the grass on it is the main metro station in Lausanne, a center of the metro line going north to south, but also from here to the western side of Lausanne to university.
Lausanne has the first and only metro in Switzerland, and yet in building this underground subway, they've been able to preserve the historic character of the town.
I'm Marc Badoux, Deputy Director of the Transportation Network of Lausanne, Switzerland. Lausanne's new metro, the M2, is 4 miles long, has 14 stations, and has changed the way people travel through the city. It makes it possible to go in this hilly city from one point to another in very fast, very accessible, very comfortable manner with public transportation. It's a driverless metro, no drivers. This metro was built between 2003 and 2008 and has been very, very successful since commercial service started in bringing people who used to travel differently to travel by public transportation. Construction was a challenge from a geological standpoint because tunnels and the stations are very close to the buildings on top. Some cases only 10 feet under the foundation. This was all made possible through great engineering, and now we will benefit, and our children and grandchildren will benefit from a system which has shortened distances in our city. It's an old city which has equipped itself now with a system that makes it much more attractive for pedestrians and users of public transportation to visit, to use, to enjoy, to live in. Lausanne is a city which has emphasized ecology and a green approach to living for a long time now. Our mayor has been from the Green Party for a long time, and the M2 fits into this strategy of less cars, more quality of life. The M2 itself helps the quality of life. It frees up the streets of the city for pedestrians. The M2 also is ecological in that it runs on hydraulic energy. It's performant. It helps people to be empowered to use bikes, pedestrian, and all these soft ways of mobility to move through the city. Bikes are welcome on the metro except at peak hours when the trains are too crowded because of the huge success in terms of ridership of the metro.
Hello, I'm Willis Brooch. I'm since 25 years the owner of this restaurant, which I'm running with my wife and my daughter. And we are serving local dishes and Swiss quality with a good service, good wine cellar.
This building is the town hall of Lausanne. This building was built in the 16th century, used to be in the 18th century a cultural center as well as a cereal warehouse. Nowadays you will find there the administration of the city of Lausanne, the mayor, the registrar and all the commissions working for the good of the city. This is St. Francis Church, a church built that in the 13th century upon request of the Bishop of Lausanne. The Franciscan order that lived on Alemony settled here in the center of Lausanne because it was the center of the traffic where the goods would go by, where the people with money would stay. And so they could live on Alemony here around and in the cloister that was just right next to the church. Around the square Saint-François you'll find a lot of very big buildings, buildings from the beginning of the 20th century or the end of the 19th, that wanted to show upon arrival of the train here in Lausanne that the city was important because the city became capital of the state of, the one you see here is the State Bank, building of 1903. This area is called the Flon area. Flon is the name of a river that flew here until 1877 freely, making of this area a very important industrial area. This river brought water to water mills and various industries until 1877, where it was covered in order to bring a funicular to transport people and goods from the lake to the center of the city. In 2009 we finished a total and entire renovation of the area, which is now very, very modern, trendy, and you'll find here a lot of nightlife as well as shop. It's a 24 hours living area with a lot of arts, art galleries and art in open air. Apart from all the very nice areas at the lake or areas in the parks, Lausanne offers a very large cultural offer in music, in museum, over 20 museums, in sports with the presence of the IOC, and University City gives it the atmosphere of a nice, young and dynamic city.
What do these flags represent?
We're here on a square that is called the square of the 26 cantons. Canton is French, that's state, standing for the 26 Swiss states. You may have known Switzerland as a very old country. We recently celebrated 700th birthday, but in fact, Switzerland created very slowly, just like Europe is creating nowadays. 1291, 3 states went together. At the 18th century, we were only 13 states out of the 26 that are actually part of Switzerland. And the 26 states came together before the middle of the 19th century, where we got the first Swiss constitution in 1848. So we're not that old.
I'm so pleased that you were able to show us this area of your country.
It was my pleasure. Very much. Thank you.
Traveling through Switzerland on clean and efficient railroads has made our journey to cities and mountain villages fun and easy. There are so many more peaks to climb and great outdoor adventures here in the Lake Geneva region. I look forward to returning to taste more delicious food, relax in the clean alpine air, and to marvel at the historic chalets. On behalf of Educational Communications and ECONEWS, I'm Nancy Pearlman, wishing you a natural, unspoiled environment.